What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to BeamerView. For today's video, we're going to be going over the reasons why BMW is the best brand. If this is your first time on this YouTube channel, BeamerView, what we do here is teach you everything there is to know about these vehicles. We go over all the hidden tips and tricks. So do yourself a favor. If you want to learn everything there is to know about your BMW, subscribe to this channel because we put our content every single week. If any of you needed a key fob cover for your BMW's key, we do sell those. Check those out at the end of the video. The links are right down below. So definitely make sure you give those a peek because you do not want to put a scratch on this BMW key fob. It is pretty close to approximately $300 plus. So keep that in mind. What makes BMWs so much special compared to all the other car brands? There is literally so many different reasons. For today's video, we're going to be going over pretty close to about 10 different ones. For number one, let's talk about the driving feel. Now, BMW's slogan is extremely true to what it says. This is the number one thing about BMWs. Once you drive a BMW, it is very, very difficult to go into any other car brand because these vehicles are simply known for driving extremely well. When you drive a BMW, it literally feels like your brain is connected to the car, and any small little movements you do or even think about doing, your BMW will go ahead and do it. And this is true amongst all different types of BMWs as well. Today we're sitting in an X5, but I will say that in a X1 or even a X7 and everything in between, the vehicles just drive absolutely phenomenal compared to any other car brand. The steering wheel feels light and responsive. The car will handle like a charm. You can cut through traffic seamlessly as well. So yes, the driving feel is absolutely true. What I think is really cool about it is even if you don't have a proper M car, even a base BMW will still drive extremely well and still have that BMW DNA. If you were to get a real M vehicle, you're really going to be in for a treat because those vehicles are just in a whole nother level. If you compare one trim of BMW to some other one in some other brand like Audi or Mercedes, you'll pick up really quick that BMW in each single trim does have the edge. These will, in my opinion, drive better than any other car brand out there. This is also coming from somebody who owns a Lamborghini. Shameless plug, if you guys wanted to see my Lamborghini and learn about the Lambo mindset, the link for that is right down below. The channel is called BeamerView, so definitely check that out as well. But yes, even when I had my M4, comparing that to my Lamborghini, I will say that even though the car cost a third of whatever the Lamborghini was, BMW M4 did drive better than the Lamborghini did. That is my personal opinion, and I do stand by that. Next up, let's talk about the technology and the infotainment. So not only is BMW known to just drive really well, but this brand is absolutely phenomenal and ahead of the curve whenever it comes to technology. If you look at all these screens, you can see that the technology is quite above anything else. Not only is the tech better than any other car brand that I have seen, but is extremely intuitive. Now, what I mean by that is your main menus are literally all going to be right here. If you were somebody who just wanted to go into music, you go there. CarPlay would show up right there. If my phone was fully connected, this is the home screen. And if you want to adjust your temperature, just set it to auto and just control this guy here. That is pretty much it. Of course, you can customize this here and then you can customize this here if you wanted to. But for the most part, the vehicle is super intuitive with all of its technology. There is a small little learning curve whenever you get a brand new BMW or if you're sitting in one for the first time, but give it about a week or two. Once you are past that, the vehicle is absolutely intuitive in all of the different menus and the technology. You could even control the screen by just this little guy right here. Even your gear shifter is this simple by just a flick of a switch, quite literally. So yes, BMW is known for their technology. If you are somebody who's into tech, you're going to feel right at home with the BMW because there's just literally so much that you could do with these cars. Hence why I have a 115,000 subscriber channel dedicated to just show all the different technology that these vehicles have. So it goes to show how much there is to learn about these cars and how technologically packed they are. Even things like voice command here, you could use your voice command in two different ways. Voice command is also very, very intuitive. You just even say things like hello BMW, and then if the feature was set up, the voice command would instantly pop up, and then I could even tell it to lower down the windows and then it will do it. That is how great the technology is within the car. Screens, if you are somebody who owns an iPhone, you're gonna feel right at home. The screen is not clunky at all. It is very, very smooth, just like your phone. There is no delay, no lagging that you're going to find with the screen. And even if there was a setting that you're trying to look up for, all you would really have to do is click in here and then just search for whatever you're trying to look for. If I type in head up, or just head, you're gonna see head-up display pop up right here. And now I'm already in the setting to control that. That is how easy and intuitive the technology is to use for these vehicles. Not only that, but BMW offers tons of different packages. If you are in the market of getting a BMW, pay close attention to all the different packages and options that the vehicles can come with, because many BMWs are not the same. You can pick and choose which options and which packages you want with your BMW, and you can customize it to exactly whatever you like. Within those packages and options, there are so many different technological packages. For example, you could get driver's assistant professional, which lets the vehicle drive, especially inside of a traffic jam, going below 85 miles per hour, completely hands-free. Also, a lot of these vehicles are coming with the 3D view or the bird's eye view, and even do things like self-park itself. You could record a whole path going into your driveway. Your BMW will drive itself straight into the driveway and into your garage. So yes, many different technological advantages that BMW has. Let's talk about the interior design. Now, I will say Mercedes-Benz does a really good job with their interiors. They are probably the only brand that I think has a notch above BMWs. BMWs are known for just kind of having a minimal, simple design, which is the way that I like it, to be completely honest. But if you were somebody who is looking for absolute luxury, especially on the interior of the vehicle, Mercedes will edge out BMW in terms of that. BMW's focus again is on tech and driving. And then for the rest of it, the attributes are quite lower compared to the other brands of cars. Yes, Mercedes, I do think, makes the best interiors. BMW's main focus for the interiors is to just be completely simple and stay focused on how well the vehicle drives. Many of the controls are really minimized as well. Say, for example, all your AC controls are going to be in the screen. You could do things like this to just simply close the vent. Your volume knob is here, very easy. Cup holders, center console are all very well simply laid out. And again, with BMWs, you can completely customize your BMW as well. For the vehicle that we have here, we have the Tartufo leather, but I will say, depending on whichever BMW you can get all different types of colors, all different types of leathers. You can even select this little trim piece right here to 4 or more different trim pieces. You can customize the lighting within the car. Let's talk about reliability. BMWs in the past notoriously known for not being very reliable. We're here in 2025, have came a very long way in terms of reliability since the last 10 years. So much so that even in recent years, Consumer Reports did rank BMW to be one of the most reliable vehicles out of all different car brands. So that goes to show how far up BMW has came in the reliability chart compared to the rest of the brands. In my years of owning a BMW, I have had very reliable BMWs. I have had a 3 Series for 3 years, and I have had a M4 for 1 year, and I have had 0 issues with both of the vehicles. My 3 Series that I had was a 2017, and that vehicle ran completely fine going up to 100,000 miles before the vehicle got hit, unfortunately. But the vehicle was a very great, reliable vehicle going up to that 100,000 mile mark. And I think that every other BMW as well should do really well, as long as you get one more in the recent years. But I will say that a big part of reliability does also come down to the driver as well. Obviously, BMWs are not cheap. They do use very expensive parts, and they are cars that you do have to maintain well in order for it to perform well and stay reliable. So what you want to do is, whenever your vehicle is due for a oil change or any service that is recommended that needs to be done, you should definitely get it done. You don't want to wait. And that goes for not only BMWs, that goes for all different car brands in general. BMW will say about every 10,000 miles or 1 year. I personally like to get my oil change done every 7,500 miles or so. So you definitely make sure that you want to keep up to all that if you want to make sure that your BMW stays reliable throughout the course of your ownership. That is one huge thing, to make sure your BMW stays reliable throughout its life. When you are doing your maintenance, if you get a brand new BMW, keep in mind that your first 3 years or 36,000 miles, whichever one comes first, you're going to get free maintenance. At least that is the case here in North America. So rest assured, if you get a brand new BMW, maintenance is not going to be something that you have to worry about for the first 3 years. It comes included with the vehicle. So that should give you a huge peace of mind. You will have to pay for things like oil changes, which honestly is not bad. The parts where things may get a little bit expensive is going to be with the brakes. Brakes are not cheap. Brakes here are probably going to be the only thing where costs may get quite high. But everything else is honestly not too bad. If you're looking for tires, my recommendation would be to go to TireRack.com, check out which tires fit your vehicle there, and then try doing a price match. But everything else with the vehicle in terms of maintenance is going to be like any other vehicle. Obviously, it's not going to be as low as a Honda Civic. Again, you are driving a German car. These parts are not cheap. But I will say, in relation to the price of the car that you're already paying, your maintenance is not going to be anything that should really jump out to you. For the next part, let's talk about resale value. This might be one of BMW's drawbacks. Depending on which BMW you get, you may suffer from depreciation. Now, the SUVs do a pretty well of holding the value in relation to every other car brand. But if you are somebody who is thinking about getting a high-end car brand, such as a BMW 7 Series, the values for cars like those will drop drastically. So that's one thing to watch out for. If I were to buy a pre-owned BMW, I would buy it certified and being about 2 to 3 years old. If you get it around that range, you're going to avoid the initial depreciation hit. So that is my recommendation. If you are getting a pre-owned vehicle, that is the sweet spot from what I have seen. But if you are getting a brand new one, the values for that in the first year or two is going to drop quite drastically. So that is one thing to watch out for. If you're buying a brand new, I would recommend leasing the car. If you are someone who doesn't drive that much, leasing is also a great deal. But if you are buying a pre-owned vehicle, my personal recommendation is to get one that's about 2 to 3 years old, so you avoid the big depreciation hit that happens in the first couple of years. But again, if you get a BMW SUV or any lower end BMW, you are going to be quite fine. It's only the ones where if you were to get a 7 Series where the values will drop extremely fast, and that could be the case for a 5 Series as well, depending on which trim you get. Each different car brand has its pros and cons. I have owned Audi before, so I will say that Audis are quite refined compared to any other car brands. Their drive is not too bad. Again, it's not going to be as good as a BMW, but Audis are known to be quite refined. Their tech is also up there, and I would rank Audi's tech to be a good second place or so. If you were somebody who's looking for a luxury, Mercedes-Benz is going to take the cake there. They do make the best interiors, in my opinion. Mercedes-Benz is also going to be a little bit more spacious and have better interiors. But if you are somebody who is like me, who just loves to drive the car, and if you are somebody who loves technology, a BMW is going to take the cake there. Being with BMWs for about 6 years now, the way that these vehicles drive, I cannot see myself going into any other car brand, because after driving these vehicles, it does become very, very difficult to get acquainted with all the other vehicles and how they drive. I quite honestly began to despise other car brands and how they drive after being with BMWs for so long. The way that these vehicles perform on the road is on a whole nother level. So that was a quick video on my thoughts on how BMW compares against other car brands. Again, this video is going to be good for somebody who's completely new to the brand, who doesn't really know what to expect. If you already have a BMW, I'm sure you already know the reasons why you love the car brand as well, and you know exactly what I mean by the connection you get with these vehicles. That's all I gotta say for this one. Thank you all for staying in tune with the channel. We are trying to upload every single week, so definitely make sure you all subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all for the next one.